Hello students, welcome to our fifth lesson of the Unit 6, Fauzi's first meal in Japan. Fauzi's first meal in Japan. So, could you please tell me what does it mean here? Fauzi's first meal in
أول
Japan.
وجبة
What does it mean?
لفوزي في اليابان.
Yes, very good. So, Fauzi's first meal in Japan. Very good. Yes, thank you. Now we will move to our lesson. So, it's on page 68, Unit 6, Lesson 5, Fauzi's first meal in Japan. Now I want you in section A to listen carefully. Okay, then I want you to read. Okay, now I want you to listen carefully.
Track 38. Listen and read.
Come and eat, Fauzi. Are you hungry?
Yes, I am. But where do I sit?
We don't sit on chairs when we eat. We kneel on the floor, like this.
I see. We sit on the floor in my house.
Let's eat then.
What are these?
Chopsticks. In Japan, we always eat with chopsticks.
Oh, in my country, we usually eat with knives, forks and spoons. It's harder with chopsticks,
You'll learn.
or I'll be hungry. This is very nice fish. How do you cook it?
We don't cook it. This is raw fish. We eat it with a sauce.
Really? At home, my mother always cooks the fish.
Well, sometimes I cook fish, but I like it this way.
Do you cook the meat?
Of course. We always cook meat. Have some of these vegetables.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's different from home, but it tastes nice.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. Okay, here in the beginning we have Mrs. Ono and Fauzi. Come and eat. Fauzi, are you hungry? Yes, I am. So Fauzi said, yes, I am hungry. But where do I sit? So he wants to sit like them. We don't sit on chairs. So they said that we don't sit on chairs when we eat. We kneel on the floor. So they kneel like this. So when they eat, so they have to kneel like this on the floor. I like this. I see. We sit on the floor in my house. So he mean that we sit on the floor. So we sit like when we sit in Libya when we eat. Okay. So here they kneel, but in Libya we sit on the floor. Okay. Let's eat then. What are these? So he asked, what are these here? He said, so Yuki said, chopsticks. In Japan, we always eat with chopsticks. But in our country, so in Libya, we usually eat with knives, forks, and spoons. So here Fauzi said that it's harder with chopsticks. So he means that it's hard to eat using the chopsticks. You will learn. So Yuki said you will learn. So you will do it first time, the second time. So the third or the fourth time you learn how to eat using the chopsticks. Then Fauzi said, so I have to learn or I will be hungry. Okay. Don't sit on chairs, he said here. So now we'll move here. This is very nice fish. So Fauzi said, this is a very nice fish. How do you cook it? So how you made it? Don't cook it. So they don't cook it. So they keep it fresh. So they cut it in slices, very, very small slices of fish. Okay. They eat it using sauce. So this is a raw fish. We eat it with a sauce. So they don't cook it. So they keep it fresh, but they eat it using sauce. Fauzi, really? At home, my mother always cooks the fish. So he said in our country, so we always cook the fish. We don't keep it fresh and eat it using the sauce like in Japan. Well, sometimes I cook fish, but I like it this way. So Mrs. Ono said we sometimes cook the fish, but she likes it in this way. So she likes it fresh. So they cut it in small slices and they eat it using the sauce. Do you cook the meat? He said. Mrs. Ono, she said, of course, we always cook meat. Have some of these vegetables. So he asked him to have some of these vegetables which are here in this plate here. Oh, thanks. Well, it is different from her, but it tastes nice. So he said that it's different from my house or my home's vegetables, but it tastes nice. But it is very nice, he mean here. Okay, so now I need two students to make this conversation. Okay, like Fauzi. So here we have, just a minute. So we have Mrs. Ono here. This is the first. We have Fauzi. We have Yuki. Okay, and I think, yes, we have three. We need three students.
Can I be Fauzi?
Okay,
Can I
Aisha.
please?
Aisha.
Okay.
Aisha will be Fauzi. Very good. Yes, Serene, Mrs. Ono, or Yuki.
Yuki.
Okay, who's going to be Mrs. Ono?
Me, Fatima.
Okay, yes, Fatima, Serene, and Aisha. Yes, can you start?
Mrs. Ono. Come and eat, Fauzi. Oh, are you
Yes.
hungry? I forgot it. Fauzi.
No,
Yes,
sorry, Fatima, Serene, and Aisha. Don't say Mrs.
Yes.
Ono. You are Fatima. You are
Oh.
Mrs. Ono.
Yes, okay.
Aisha,
okay.
don't say Fauzi. You are Fauzi. So you just start.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Don't say Fauzi. Serene
Okay.
as well. Yes, don't say you.
Yeah.
Start directly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I am. But where do I sit? We don't sit on chairs. When we eat, we kneel on the floor, like this. I see. We sit on the floor in my house. Let's eat then. What are these? Chopsticks. In Japan, we always eat with chopsticks. Oh, in my country, we usually eat with knife, forks, and spoons. It's harder with chopstick. You'll learn. I'll be hungry. This is very nice fish. How do you cook it? It's Fatima's turn.
Yes, Fatima. Hello, Fatima.
We don't cook it. This is raw fish. We eat it with a sauce. Really? At home, my mother always cooks the fish. Well, sometimes I cook fish, but I like it this way. Do you cook the meat? Of course, we always cook meat. Have some of these vegetables. Oh, thanks. Well, it's different from home, but it tastes nice.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so we're back here. Come and eat, Fauzi. Are you hungry? Yes, I am. But where do I sit? We don't sit on chairs. When we eat, we kneel. So he means that we kneel like this. Okay, I see. We sit on the floor in my house. So what we mean I see here? When we say I see, I mean I understand. Like I understand.
أنا أرى.
Yeah, no, yes. أنا أرى, but
فهمت.
here we mean, yes, فهمت, understand. I see, when we say I see, like here in this sentence, we mean I understand. يعني فهمت. Let's eat then. So let's eat. What are these? So he asked about the chopsticks. Here we have 2 chopsticks. So these are chopsticks. In Japan, we always eat with chopsticks. So when they eat, they don't use knives, forks, and spoons. So what do we mean knives here? Knives. Yes, yes, very good, Serene. Forks.
شوكة.
That's very good. Thank you, Arwa Adil. And spoons.
ملعقة.
Yes, thank you, Arwa. Yes, ملعقة. Very good. It's harder with chopsticks. So he means that it is hard to eat using the chopsticks because he got used eating using the knives, forks, and spoons. So he find it difficult and hard to eat using the chopsticks. So Yuki said to him that you will learn. So you have to learn. Fauzi said, or I will be hungry. So I have to learn because I will be hungry if I can't eat using the chopsticks. Okay. This is very nice fish. He asked about the fish, so why it tastes good and delicious. Mrs. Ono said that this is a raw fish. So they don't cook it. They don't cook it on fire. They just eat it using a sauce. So they add something like a sauce to eat it. And it's a fresh, it's not cooked. Okay. Fauzi said, at home, my mother always cooks. But Mrs. Ono said we sometimes cook fish, but she like it like this. She like it raw fish. She eat fresh fish and she cut it into slices and she eat it using a sauce. Do you cook the meat? He asked it. So Fauzi said, do you cook the meat? Mrs. Ono said, yes, of course. We always cook meat. Can't eat it like the fish. So the fish, she can't eat it without cooking. But the meat, she has to cook it. But we always cook meat, have some of these vegetables. So what we mean by vegetables here?
خضروات.
Yes, very good.
خضروات.
Oh, thanks. Well, it is different. What we mean by it is different from here?
أخرى.
مختلف.
Yes, thank you. Yes, مختلف. But it tastes
بطريقة أخرى.
لكن
but it tastes nice. What we mean by it tastes? Yes. Tastes
طعمها
طعمه حلو.
yes, nice. جميل. Yes, very. Yes, nice. Okay, now we will move to adjectives and adverbs. So what we mean by adjectives? So describe people and things. So when we describe people and things, so we will say what? We will use adjectives. And when we describe verbs or we describe actions, so we have to use adverbs. So what we mean by adjectives?
To describe people and things.
Yes. What does it mean in Arabic? Adjectives?
Yes,
Yes, صفة. Yes,
وأشياء.
very good. And what about adverbs?
ووصف
الظروف, الظرف. So we have yes, الظروف. Yes, and we have صفة. So the adjectives, we use them when we want to describe people and things. Like here, we say, for example, but it tastes nice. So we talk about describing. So describing here vegetables or describing the food. So we say taste is nice. So the word nice here, it's adjectives. Okay, so it's adjective. Here, sometimes I cook fish. So here we use sometimes like adverb. Sometimes I cook fish about the word here, cook. So we use it with the verb cook. So we use adverb, and here we use adjective to describe it here. Okay, so now we will move here. We have adjectives are words that are used to describe people and things. So here, as-sifat are words. So they are words here are used to describe people and things. So we use them to describe people and things. Okay. So here we describe Mrs. Ono, which is a person, and we also describe here clothes. because they are things here. So we use adjectives. In the first example, we have some people wear very traditional clothes. Some people wear very traditional clothes. Like Mrs. Ono, she wears a kimono. So this is a traditional cloth. When we say traditional clothes, what we mean by traditional clothes?
زي اللبسة التقليدية.
Okay, yes. So traditional, تقليدي. So it is adjective, صفة. So we describe the clothes using the word traditional. And traditional, it is an adjective. Okay. Here, Mrs. Ono was very kind. So kind, what does it mean here?
طيبة.
طيبة.
Yes, very good. So Mr. Ono was very kind. So the word kind here, so it is adjective. So we describe Ono here. So we said that Ono was very kind. So this is an adjective. We describe Ono here. Now we will move to describing actions, adverbs of frequency. So here we have to move to the adverbs. Adverbs are words that are used to describe how often actions happen. So the adverbs, okay, we use them here to describe how often actions happen. For example, I go to school, I will say sometimes I always go to school. So I mean, so I go all the time. So if I say I never go to school, for example, so this is describe how often
أبدا.
I do this action. So when I use the adverbs, so the adverbs like sometimes, always, often, never, so these words are adverbs of a frequency. So it tells us how often I do this action. For example, I sometimes cook fish. What we mean here?
أنا بعض الأحيان.
Yes, very good. Yes, في بعض الأحيان. This is adverb. This is adverb. Sometimes this is adverb. Here we always cook the meat. So this is, that means 100%. دائما. Always cook the meat. So here you can use these adverbs to tell the other people, to the listeners, how often you do that action. For example, you play football 2 or 3 times a week, you will say, I sometimes play football. If you play football every day, you will say, I always play football. If you don't play football, you can say, I never play football. So you can use the adverbs of a frequency like sometimes, always, never, and also we have here often. So you use them to tell the listener or to tell your friend or anyone how often you use that thing. Okay, now we will move to the workbook. We have Unit 6, Lesson 5, Fauzi's first meal in Japan. It's on page 69. It's on page 69. So we have about 3 course book sections, 3 questions, A, B, C. And now we will move to section A. Read pages 68 and 69 of your course book and tick true on the true statements. Okay, so here we have many statements. So these are sentences here. So I want you to guess whether it is right or it is wrong. Okay, so if it's right, so for example, people kneel on the floor when they eat. So is it in Japan or in Libya? So if it's in Japan, so we will say right.
In Japan.
If it's in Libya, we will say right. So we have 5 sentences here. I need 5 students. So we have, yes, number 1. Okay. Yes, Serene. Yes, Serene. Yes, Serene. Number 1. Arwa Adil.
Me. Me,
Okay.
please.
Arwa Adil, number 2. Yes, who's going to be number 3?
Me, Fatima.
Yes, Fatima, number 3. Your name, please. Aisha, number 4.
No.
Yes, your name, please. Your name, please.
Ruby.
Yes, Rubin, number 5. Yes, very good. Yes, can you start, Serene, number 1? Yes, open your microphone, Serene, please.
Oh. I'm talking without opening my microphone.
Yes, yes, I know that. Yes, I see.
People kneel on the floor when they eat. Japan.
Yes, very good. Yes, what about the second one? I think Fatima or Aisha?
No, I'm the third.
And
Ah,
I'm
okay. Yes, I think Arwa Adil, number 2.
Japan.
Yes, can you read it? Arwa Adil.
Yes.
Yes, people sometimes sit on the floor when they eat.
Sit on the floor when they eat.
So is it in Japan or in?
It's
Yes,
in Japan.
yes. Yes, if you think on Japan, I will do it. Yes, people sometimes sit on the floor when they eat. So we can say in Libya, so we sometimes also sit on the floor when they eat. Japan, they kneel on the floor. So it is different, sit and kneel. Okay. So if you think it's in Japan, they sometimes, because sometimes, so it is different. Sometimes, so they may do it 1, 2, 3 times a week. So do you think Japan or Libya?
Libya.
Okay, yes, it is Libya. So we sometimes sit on the floor when they eat. So what about the third one?
Fatima.
Yes, Fatima?
People always cook fish. Japan.
Yes. So cook fish. In Japan,
No,
they
Japan, they
sometimes
raw.
cook fish, but in Libya we always cook fish. In Japan, they also eat raw fish,
Raw
which is a fish that is not cooked. Okay, so we will say yes,
In Libya.
yes, yes, very good. So in Libya, people always cook fish.
My
Yes.
turn.
What about the fourth one? I think
Aisha.
Aisha. Yes.
Yeah. People always cook meat in Libya because
Yes, and
Japan
also yes.
sometimes Japan
No, sometimes, yes, Japan, they always cook meat.
raw.
Yes, yes. So we would say both of them. Yes, we would say
Yeah.
Japan and Libya.
And Libya.
Because Mrs. Ono said that we always cook meat. So they cook meat, but they didn't cook, sometimes they didn't cook the fish. Okay. So here the meat, all of the people on the world, they have to cook meat. We can't eat it like a raw fish without cooking. Okay, so now we will move to the last one. I think Rubin. Yes, Rubin.
People sometimes eat with knives, forks and spoons. I think it is in Libya.
Yes, very good. Yes, people in Libya eat using the knives, forks, and spoons. Yes, very good. Now we'll move to the second section. Complete these sentences about Japan using always, sometimes, or never. Okay, so who's going to, we have about 6 sentences. I need 6 students to read them.
Can I, Aisha, the first?
Me, Fatima.
Okay, yes, tell me the names. Yes, we have,
Aisha.
yes, I need your
Please.
names, please. Your name, please.
Aisha.
Rubin
Aisha.
number 1, yes. If I hear,
Rubin.
yes, Rubin number 2.
Fatima.
Fatima number 3, yes.
Aisha.
Aisha number 4. Yes, Muhammad al-Mannawi number 5. Yes, what about the last one?
Can I?
Yes, your name, please.
Rubin.
Yes, Rubin will be the last one, number 6. Okay, yes, Sireen, can you start?
Always or usually.
Yes, you will have
Always.
the answers. Yes, yes, I want you to read the full sentence.
People always kneel on the floor when they eat.
Yes, very good. What about the second one?
People never sit on the floor when they eat.
Yes, what about the third one?
People always eat with chopsticks.
Very good.
People never use knives, forks, and spoons.
Yes, very good. Yes, what about the fifth one, Muhammad Mannawi?
People sometimes eat raw fish.
Very good. So they sometimes eat raw fish because they sometimes cook the fish, Yes, what about the sixth one, Rubin?
People always cook meat.
Yes, very good. So did you understand this section? So we have always,
Yes.
never, and always. We have never, we have sometimes, we have always. So we have to choose the suitable one from the three words we have here. So these are adverbs of frequency. When we say always, we mean like, for example, 100%, we do this thing, and sometimes it's about 50%, and never is about 0%. Okay, we do that. So when we say people always kneel on the floor when they eat, we mean that they 100%. So this is what we mean. So when we say, yes, when we say always, we mean like this. Okay, so it is like this, 100%. When we say never, we say it is 0%. And when we say sometimes, it is about 50. Yes, very good. So it is
50.
about 50%. Yes. So this is what we mean by always, never, and sometimes. Now we move to the third section, which is the last one. Okay, so here, use your answers in A and B to write about the differences between Japan and Libya. So we did section A and B. Now we have to write about the differences between Japan and Libya. So here in Japan, people always kneel on the floor. What about Libya? Yes, now I will show you the answer. I just want you to tell me the answers. Okay. Yes, we have, yes. Your name Fatima.
Yes,
Okay. Yes, Aisha will be number 1. Number 2. Yes, Fatima will be number 2. What
I
about
can.
number 3? Your name, please.
I can.
Me.
Your name.
Ruby.
Okay, so we have
Serene.
Serene and Ruby.
Rubin.
Yes, yes. Okay, we will choose Ruby. Okay, Serene, you read a lot today. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Serene. Yes, Rubin will be the
problem.
last one. Yes, Rubin will be the last one. Yes, can you start?
In
Yes.
Japan, people always kneel on the floor, but in Libya, we sometimes sit on the floor.
Yes, very good. So, yes, in
never
Libya,
kneel.
we sometimes sit on the floor and never kneel on the
Never
floor.
kneel on the
Yes,
floor.
and in Japan, they kneel on the floor. Yes, what about the second one?
In Japan, people always eat with chopsticks, but in Libya, we usually eat with knives, forks, and spoons.
Yes, very good. So, what about the last one, Ian?
In Japan, people sometimes eat raw fish, but in Libya, we always cook fish.
Yes, very good. So did you understand our lesson for today?
Yes.
Yes, thank you
Yes,
so much.
thank you
Yes,
very
thank you
much.
so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yes, and see you next
Thank you
class.
so
Okay,
much.
it's on Sunday. Thank
See
you.
you.
Thank you. Yes,
Bye.
goodbye. Yes,
Bye.
bye-bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
ماشي السلام
Bye.
عليكم. باي باي.
مع السلامة.
مع السلامة. باي باي.
Bye.